Hey, Gator Nation. Welcome back to the Respect Our Decision Pod of the People, our weekly podcast that we do for YouTube exclusively, where we take your questions that you send to us and try to provide some context and some answers to them. We have a little humor on here as well. And then we always do our weekly community questions. As always, I'm Hirsch. With me is the hype man, Wes. And CJ, the man McCann, has Wes
What's up,
wasn't paying
guys?
attention. He lost his chance.
Was it good? Man, I was looking at you guys dropping.
I did it in reverse order and caught him slipping. Y'all see it.
Boom.
Told you we have fun on this show. Guys, it's been a great week for Gator Nation. A ton of commits. The hype is high. Baseball team is in the World Series Finals. We'll be playing game one by the time you watch this episode. It'll be game day.
It'll be the morning of.
Morning
You're
of.
sitting
So,
there
man,
enjoying
get
your
hyped
coffee,
up. Yeah,
getting ready.
watch some Respect Our Decision Pod of the People and get hyped up to watch the Gators try to win a national championship. And damn it, they're going to do it. So if you're new to the channel, this is your first time checking us out, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and drop a like on the video and leave a comment down below, even a question for next week's episode, and you'll automatically be entered into the giveaway for the month of June. A t-shirt from our friends at Alma Mater, Scared Money Don't Make Money t-shirt. It's a great time to pick that shirt up, man, because our money ain't scared now, is it, fellas?
No, sir. It's cash.
Wes, what kind of questions we got this week? We should have some good questions this week.
We got a lot. Speaking of scared money don't make money, make sure you guys go to Florida Victorious and sign up. As you can see, they're doing the thing over there. Hirsch, since you don't get to, do a lot of you ask the questions on the main podcast, I'm gonna start with you, then I go to CJ next. This is from my boy, winner of last month's giveaway. And before I start, like, subscribe, and make a comment, and you guys can be entered into the winnings, the drawing to win a t-shirt this month. But this is from Chris Sorley. I won it from the month of, was it April? Yeah, April. What in the hell did someone do to piss Napier off? Dude is taking the players after that tweet from Kiffin. So Hirsch, what players are must get that are still uncommitted, and what do you think of the class size now?
All right. First off, I'm gonna tell you what happened. Everybody doubted Billy Napier, and he said, "I'm tired of it. Players play, and this is what's up." And then Lane Kiffin just dotted the I, and he said, "All right, I'm done." But key players, Zay Mincy and McCray from Mainland are probably my top two still on the board as far as that goes. You can't miss on this duo from Mainland. And a receiver of value. I don't know exactly who that guy's going to be. But you've got to land one really good receiver in this class. I'm not saying Isaiah Williams isn't a good receiver. He's a very good receiver. But you need that one building block, standout receiver. And then, obviously we want 4 in this class. But as far as numbers go, we kept saying forever 20 to 22 kids in this class. As common knowledge, there's only 6 seniors on the football team as of right now. So that's not a lot of attrition. You're going to have to see some guys transfer out. Some guys are going to have to make some hard decisions about their careers. But as of now, given what these guys are thinking they can pull, it might get 25, 26 kids in this class. There's a lot of kids out there you're going to have a hard time saying no to that are still at positions of need. Obviously, as of if you listen to our main show, we've already told Chris Jones, sorry, there's no more room at the end. You lost your spot. But there's going to be some other guys that we have to look at and say, sorry, guys, you can't be in. But there's going to be some that we'll look at and say, you've always got a spot. Zay Mincy would be one of those guys. McCray would be one of those guys. So Florida kids especially.
Yeah, I agree with you, Hirsch, there. Charlie Sepp said, he responded, I read Charlie's comment, he said, whatever it is, keep it up. CJ, Justin Cordero said, when is Friday Night Lights? I answered that, it's this weekend. And he said, and do you think we see a similar weekend to the one we just witnessed? Lastly, which players do you think have missed their opportunity to get into this class by waiting too long?
you're not going to see what we saw last weekend by any stretch. Um, at some point, I mean, last weekend was like an anomaly. That's not something that's going to happen every year, even every cycle. I mean, you had 7 kids commit within the span of 3 days is wild. I mean, that doesn't happen a lot. No school's doing that. So I wouldn't say that. You might see a 1 or 2 kids commit within the next week or so. Maybe it's a month down the line. I don't really know right now because the staff has pretty much turned everything on its head with the weekend they had. We've already talked about Chris Jones, and I feel like he did miss his spot because just waited too long. He waited himself out of a spot. He expected it to be there. He, like the rest of the world, thought that Aaron Childs was probably going to Michigan, and Florida said nope. Well, I don't think so. I think that's a guy who's definitely wore out his welcome. I think Dalen Evans is another guy that now that you've added Waller and you've added Morris Williams and you've added Nasir and you've added all these guys to the class, he's another guy that I don't think there's room for you anymore. Even if and I don't even know if he ever intended to flip now because it was just so much that he was so rumored to flip, and he's definitely going to do it. He's not going to do it, and now he's back to, all the way. Let's go Texas A&M. So, maybe there was something more to that, maybe using us for leverage. Maybe he did want to come here. I don't know. But he feels like another kid who's probably lost his spot. So I don't know. A lot of the Justin Denson talk has cooled. He might be another kid that I feel like we might have moved on from, considering I think that we were basically like, now or never. I know we didn't get a DB yet, but there's some guys in the works. So that might be another guy who's missed his chance by delaying so much. So for sure, there's a bunch of guys that have kind of missed the boat on this. And maybe that'll set an example going forward now as you better get on or you're going to get left. So, and that's good. I think that we were all waiting for Florida to be able to do that again, and tell kids that you need to get on or get left.
Yeah, I agree. And I forgot to add.
Technical difficulties from
Wes is having
Mr.
some
Wes.
technical difficulties.
Yeah, I do want to say, Chris, if
Oh my God, Wes.
yeah, I'm
going
here.
in and out. We're going in and out, Wes. You get notifications or what's going on?
But what?
We may have lost Wes. There he is again. He's in and out.
Somebody's turning on and off the lights in Wes's room.
Wes is playing a game of peekaboo with us, guys. I got a question now. Lucas the Gator Man asked his weekly question in our YouTube comments. I'm gonna go ahead and me and CJ will discuss this. And it said, how many commits do you expect coming out of Friday Night Lights? And the answer to that, Lucas, is I don't know if we'll get any more commitments coming out of Friday Night Lights. I'm not going to say you couldn't see somebody, but as of right now, I wouldn't expect anybody because the Friday Night Lights isn't a camp for 24. It's for 25, 26. Hey, maybe we get a 25 commit, though. You never know. I mean, it could happen. So, Lucas, obviously you asked that question before the influx of commits. So I wouldn't really expect anybody between now and the end of Friday Night Lights. But if somebody popped, hey, more coin in the jar, as they say.
That's right.
All right, Wes, you look like you're good now, brother.
Yeah, it's stormy here, so I apologize, everybody. But I was saying to Chris earlier, he was asking about some commits. As far as wide receiver, I know you mentioned I would take Robinson over Abrams. Abrams is a Florida State commit. Robinson is a Miami commit. But I would take Chance Robinson, as far as wide receivers to start that trend going there.
Quick point about Chance Robinson. He is at Miami for an official visit this weekend. So I would expect them to throw the kitchen sink at that young man to try to get him not to flip to Florida. If there's one thing they don't want down there, it's one of theirs flipping to us.
Yeah, that would PR nightmare for sure.
All right, Hirsch, this is from Charlie Sapp. He said, my question is, we currently have 15 commits. If we are only going to sign 20, which we've already said that we think we're going over that, he's asking how does it shake out? So to revise this question, because we know that we're probably going to go over 20 now, that we already have 16. He was at 15, but that was before we got that last commit from Waller. So if you had, can you kind of give an outline of maybe, I know you DBs and receivers is probably where we're going with the biggest numbers right now.
I got you. You just kind of want what are we going to take to fill out the class?
Yeah.
We currently have 2 DBs committed. We want 6, so there's 4. So that takes you to 20. We want 3 more wide receivers, and that's not even including Jeremiah Smith. I mean, he could be in that 4, or he could be if we already had 4, we would still take Jeremiah Smith. So put him out of your mind as far as this equation goes. So that's 7. You want 1 more offensive lineman at least. So that's 8.
Another tight end.
And then another tight end or a second running back. Now, running back would be a guy I think they would say, you know what, we've hit our numbers on this. We'll take a guy from the portal, and just be happy with Kanan Daniels because they really love the kid. And he just shut his recruitment down. So, I mean, it really looks like between 7 and 9 is a very realistically, possibility to add to a class that we thought there was no way was going to 25 a week ago.
Yeah.
As of last week's recording, there was no way we were hitting 25 kids. And now it's like I said in the last question, how do you tell some of these guys no? You're going to have a hard time.
Exactly. And that's where I'm going to go with this next question, CJ. It's kind of alluding to, because our boy, not Anthony Armstrong, but Antonio Armstrong, he was kind of all over the place. He started he left a message, and I guess some recruits started coming in, and he was like, I'm all over the place. So I'm going to read his entire thing. Then I'm going to ask you this question, which kind of allude to a guy that Hirsch kind of didn't mention his guys as far as when he was naming those guys that you can kind of answer on. He said, you boys are going to have a 3-hour podcast to talk about all these commits. We love to piss off Billy. He's sending a message, and we clearly hear him. You see our class going up to maybe 25, 26 recruits. We took care of that. He says there's still room for McCray now with all these D-line commits. That's the first part, CJ. He says, could we land Waller and Ross, or just one of the two? We already got Waller. So your question that I'm going to revise is about Ross and McCray. He says, now that we are top 5 and still a few top 100 recruits looking good on the board, you see us pulling in a top 3 class when it's all said and done. My mind is all over the place with these 6 commits in 3 days. Let's effing, he didn't say effing, he said let's, but I'm saying effing go. He said,
don't be like me.
Mind, because I guess he saw we got 7 recruits now. Can we get both Ross and Waller to commit in the class? So Waller, Ross, McCray, and do you think we can get a top 3 class?
I think we can get a top 3 class. I don't think we will, because you look at Alabama's still like lingering down there in the bottom, and
with a lot of good kids left.
They're not going away. Like, this isn't like Alabama's just not going to have a top 10 class or top 5 class. That's just not going to happen. Not anymore. There's still a lot of those really good schools that are just kind of hanging. Clemson's still down there. So I don't expect them to stay quiet and stay dormant much longer. I don't think we'll have a top 3 class. I think, again, I'm still sticking with the 8 to 10 range on a class. Even though we're where we're at, we're still going to have to land some more big time guys because, it's still June. So you're looking at a lot of classes. Like, it's a lot of funky stuff going on. You look at Minnesota was hanging in the top 10 in the recruiting rankings, and stuff like that's not going to last. So we could definitely do it if you continue this trend. If they continue doing this, for sure. But I don't expect that with McCray and Ross. I'm sure if they both wanted in, you would take them both. But I don't think that that's realistic. I don't think that they would be like, I don't think they would do that. So I mean, for sure, I think we'd still take McCray. I don't have any doubt in my mind that if McCray called us and said, "Hey, I'm coach, I'm ready," I'm ready to commit, that we would say, "Nah, I don't think so." And I can't, and I feel the same way about Ross. I can't see a world where he calls and says, "Hey, coach, I'm ready to come to Florida," and coach would say, "Nah, I don't think so." So I mean, you definitely could get them. Those are two guys that you add, like you make room, right? If they want to come play for you, they want to join the class, then you make room for those guys. But those guys aren't dummies. They're not stupid. They understand that there's only so many spots, and they only understand there's only so much playing time. Even with the way we are right now, we can't put all the, there's only 11 guys on the side of the ball. So definitely they could still be in the class if they wanted to be, but I don't see that is realistic. I think LJ McCray is a little more realistic than Ross at this point. I don't expect, especially with Waller being here now, I don't expect Ross to hop in. But you would still definitely take them both if they wanted to come.
Let me add one little piece to that. If we land a top 3 class, that means Jeremiah Smith's in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, this is from Gary Taft. He says, "Are you happy with the new nose tackle?" He said, "West, go Gators, chop chop." So this is for me, not you. I'll answer this. I am elated with the new nose tackle. I talked about that on the main podcast. This is somebody that Georgia wanted. He was just at Georgia this weekend, as we talked about. They even had their first round pick 2 years ago, Jared Davis, that gave us problems. That gave everybody problems. Come talk to the kid and say, "Hey, you can be me." You see what they did for me. That kind of sales pitch. We know Kirby is a great recruiter, so we're not going to
the love bug.
Some small victory. This was a big time victory. I'm elated because you need that in this class. As far as what we did, we missed on that last year. You got to have a true nose guy in there on rundowns to eat up that guard and tackle. Not a guy that is going to be in the top, like Hurst said, top 250 maybe. But those guys don't get a lot of love because they're not going to get like 20 sacks or 20 tackles for loss, even in high school football. But you can see the potential there, so I do love it. Hurst, so I'm going to go to Jared White. Well, I'm not going to go to Jared White. I will say your question, Jared. He asked if we're going to take him around 20 commits this year. We kind of covered that. I know a lot of you guys seeing all the influx of talent that we had coming in past this weekend and worry about the 20 number, but we're going over that. So this is Ryan Hurst. He said, with the recent pass rush commitments, is it safe to say that Dylan Evans is off the board for us? Also, should we start to be concerned about Chris Jones? I thought he was all but locked in. Kind of covered that, but you can hit on Chris Jones, knock him out of the way, and go to Dylan Evans.
Yeah, Chris Jones played a dangerous game in the recruiting business. You had an offer. You felt like you really liked Florida, but you said, you know what? I just want to see a couple other places. And Jay Bateman ain't waiting on nobody right now. Jay Bateman bringing him in and saying, look, he's doing that mafia thing, the Tony Soprano. He's sitting him down and saying, you're in or you're out. Tell me now. And Aaron Child said, look, I'm in. How damn, calm down. And Chris Jones is sitting outside shivering in the cold. Nah, he's going to probably end up at Georgia. Good for him. Hey, I'm not putting down the kid, but it's nice that Georgia's taking our leftovers for once. You know what I'm saying? Dylan Evans played the game himself. Dylan Evans is a strong side defensive end right there with McCray. And you're going to take McCray. You're going to take the Florida kid 10 out of 10 times over the Texas kid who's already committed one to another team and wants to string you along. Well, guess what? Billy Napier is in a position now where he doesn't have to beg for that kind of stuff. We've gotten to where we're like, you know what? We'll stay home and we'll recruit this kid right here from Mainland and tell him he's the number one on the board. You stay with A&M, and we'll see you next time when y'all come to Gainesville in 2024. Sorry.
All right. Justin Wood, our boy Justin, asked kind of the same question that everybody's been asking about the number of commits. Justin, we kind of took care of that. So I go for your next question. And CJ, this is kind of question that we kind of touched on the last podcast, but this is our fun podcast. So honestly, how hyped were you this weekend when you kept seeing and hearing the news of we might get this guy even before the recruits came in and said they were going to commit? How were you feeling when you like? And then it came across the timeline, like it actually happened when you saw the Hayes edit. How were you feeling?
Dude, it was a great feeling. It was more of a, I don't want to say relief because that sounds like I was like dying or something, but it was just like, okay, all right, so here we go. People can start to see what we're seeing, right? Like that was kind of where I was at. It's like, okay, now people are going to understand this is what it was. I was super stoked to get the kids. They were, like I said, Amaris Williams and Aaron Childs were two kids that I didn't expect to get, especially Amaris Williams. Amaris Williams like wasn't even on the radar for me at all. I don't think, like I said, I don't think we brought him up once. But definitely a great talent, a kid that you love to get. I was psyched. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, where you're like going through the weekend, and I'm like, okay, guys, just damage control this thing. Let's get to this weekend because we've got some good news coming. And you're just waiting, and I'm waiting all day for this good news to finally happen to help us out a little bit and be able to say, okay, we're good. And then it just kept on. Like we just kept getting more good news and more good news. And guys that I didn't expect were going to commit, like Maskell, who I didn't expect to be a Florida Gator. I expected he was going to be an LSU guy. So I'm excited, for it. I mean, it was a great feeling. It was great to interact with all of you guys, to troll a little bit, to meme a little bit. I think that was like the most fun I'd had. It was a lot of really active stuff on Twitter with you guys interacting with our page, with our individual pages. And I think that's the most fun I've had as far as like recruiting wise, with the community, just because it was like, we've been waiting for this for so long. And I felt like as fans, as the University of Florida, we deserved this a little bit to get one back because we'd been kind of kicked in the balls for a while. So it was great. It was like, thank God, we're finally getting somewhere. If somebody deserved to finally get some relief, it was us.
All right, CJ, I'm gonna come right back to you because this is kind of a baseball question from Justin. The last
Okay.
three are gonna come from Justin.
Okay.
He said, this is a funny question. So he said, and he sent this yesterday, and the day was another nail biter. But he said, "Do you smoke a pack?" He said, "Y'all, do you smoke a pack of Marlboro Reds after the baseball game? After the baseball team has us on edge?"
The only pack I'm smoking is that TCU pack. Woo! That's the only pack I'm smoking, boys.
They prolonged my workout today. I was working out today. I couldn't get on and start my workout until the game was over. So that's how it was. Hirsch, another one from Justin Wood. He says, which is a good question, Justin. Appreciate this because we kind of didn't talk about our future. We talked about the DBs and the wide receivers that's left. But he said, best chance to land a top tier O lineman. Is it Westfall or Callaway? Like that one, Justin.
I don't know.
He's probably want to say neither. He has no hope. That's what he means, Justin.
I don't know.
They let my boy
I wish I
Westfall
could
with
tell
all
you.
the great stuff going
Look,
on.
man, I've got a lot of positivity in me right now. But top tier offensive lineman, I'm in the show me state still. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I really don't. I keep
all the
hearing
great
like
stuff going on. They let Westfall get off
Callaway
campus.
is feeling Georgia more. I think Westfall had a great trip.
Oh yeah, he loved his time.
I think he may be
you gotta pick one.
Like Obi-Wan Kenobi. He may be your only hope. I mean, I don't know what else to say right now.
I would pick Westfall too if I had to pick. All right, CJ,
Michael Uini. I thought we got in good shape with Michael Uini, and then he went to Michigan and instantly got predicted to go to Michigan. I don't know. Might be Ori Williams.
CJ, last one from Justin. He says, how do you see our DB class shaking out? Do you guys still think, and me, you talked about this last week because I was at 40%, and I think you were down too. He says, how do you see the DB class shaking out? And how do you feel about Howard?
I've been very kind of in the ballpark of Jamari Howard is probably going to Florida State. And that's how I felt for the
Me too.
longest time. The kid grew up a Florida State fan. He likes Surtain. Florida State needs a win bad. They're going to be pressing for him. He missed his visit here. We're coming up on the dead period pretty soon again before the season. So it doesn't feel like if he was going to be in this class, more stuff would have went our way. Like he would have shown up more. He would have been here. I don't see it. And I could be totally wrong. I'm not a coach. I don't talk to him every day. They might have a better feeling about him than I do. But everything that I've read, that I've seen, that I've heard just feels like he's not going to be a Florida Gator. The DB class as a whole, I know we made a lot of progress with Jameer Grimsley. With his visit, he seemed to really enjoy himself as a guy who Florida didn't seem like they were on his real radar. And I've talked to in length about it's so hard for us to get kids out of Tampa for whatever reason lately. You've got Teddy Foster, who's I believe out of Sarasota. And I think that Teddy Foster is better than his rating. When you see Teddy Foster's rating, you're going to say, why are we recruiting this guy? He's like the 70th best player in the state or something like that. He's, 500, 600 kid or something, 3-star. But the thing with Foster, I believe he's only been playing football for about a year. His brother is a basketball player at Notre Dame. He's a hell of an athlete. He's got a great frame. He's already a 3-star. He's already got offers from a lot of schools. Let's just let him play out. Let him play his senior year of football, and then we'll talk about it again at the end. Again, it was kind of like, you look at where Raymond was when he took Jakeem Jackson, and then he liked Jordan Castell, and he liked Sharif Denson, and he liked those guys. They weren't super high rated at the time he took them, and then they shot up boards, and people were like, oh my God, these guys are really good. Jordan Castell specifically was a guy that people were like, yeah, whatever. And then you got to see him, and he went to camps and he played ball, and people really started to open their eyes. And now we're seeing it while he's here at Florida that Jordan Castell is a baller. So I'm going to trust whatever, Corey Raymond's plan is, because Corey Raymond looks for a specific kind of DB. He grades them not on their stars so much as what I'm looking for in a defensive back. And, usually he's going to recruit the higher rated kids. That's not what I'm saying, because a lot of times, it's a no brainer with a lot of kids, but he's going to recruit his guys. He's going to get his guys. And a coach like Corey Raymond he's earned his right to do that. I think that's fair. So that's where I'm at. Again, in Mincy, you want Mincy. I think everybody wants Mincy. I think the staff wants Mincy. He's been kind of quiet lately, but he loves Florida. He was here for 7-on-7s today. So Mincy's definitely a guy. You want both of the kids out of Mainland. So, yeah, no doubt. I think that you need to get Mincy. But like I said at the beginning, Howard, I just don't see it. Maybe it happens, but it's not looking that way to me.
All right, I'm done, Hirsch. That's all I got for our Facebook questions.
I already asked Lucas's from our Facebook comments.
Community question?
I was gonna say the rest of the comments on the Pot of the People show from last week were very negative, because obviously we lost Bowens, and then we lost Simmons that morning that we released the episode. And most of those were very negative. And that's fine, guys. I understand y'all were in a bad spot that morning. And hey, leave us some positive questions this week, and we'll go on those, man. Because now we're narrowing the board. We can talk about specific prospects like we're doing right now. We've kind of hit on the numbers as of right now. Hell, we might have to start scouting out 25 kids really heavy here so shortly to have more stuff to talk about. Thanks, Billy.
Jeez, Billy. I'd have to go get 7 commits, Billy.
Yeah, what are you doing here? You're making our jobs easy and tough at the same time. All right, guys, it's time for the community question of the week. As usual, CJ
I like
coming
this.
with the heat for the community question. This week, what is the best football movie? I mean, there's not a ton of, all time, there's not a ton of football movies.
It's more baseball movies.
Yeah, there's more baseball movies than football movies.
Yeah,
It's easy. Yeah, it's easy. Oh, easily. Especially quality ones, but that's each his own opinion on
When
that.
I start naming these, we'll see. I think we got
I promise you, you don't want me to get on baseball movies because I'll go for days. But it doesn't matter. There's good football movies. But here's what I like about this one. I really like about this one. There was a lot of different answers. So that means you all have your own favorite football movie that speaks to you for whatever reason it speaks to you. I'm going to start right from the first response. Paul Demir, Remember the Titans. Obviously, Remember the Titans is a great movie, a true story. Just great characters, just memorable lines, funny moments, sad moments. A great movie. Troy Claiborne said the next one he said, and this is one a lot of people didn't say, and it really kind of surprised me, is The Program, especially since this is a college football recruiting show. The Program was ahead of its time, man. If you've never seen The Program, I mean, a lot of younger guys, you may not have seen The Program.
good.
The Program is an awesome college football movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Young Holly Berry.
That was a raw movie. Go ahead.
Easy.
What out?
Hey, here's a familiar name, Kara McCann.
Hey, my wife.
I would be divorced if I didn't say The Water Boy, but personally, The Blind Side.
Mm.
Both great choices and very different movies at their own right.
Mm-hmm.
Hater Radio said, Ty, Remember the Titans in The Program. Gator Truth Podcast. If you haven't listened to Gator Truth Podcast, check out his show sometime, man. Good show. Best Objectively, and he put Remember the Titans. Austin Harler put Remember the Titans. Sauce said Any Given Sunday or Varsity Blues.
Those are two good ones.
Gator Lyle said Friday Night Lights or Remember the Titans. JC said Necessary Roughness. Love Necessary Roughness, JC.
Yep.
Very cool answer. Or Little Giants. Lucas the Gator Man said The Blind Side. Tommy Boy said I remember my dad making us watch The Best of Times as a kid with Robin Williams and Kurt Russell. That's a movie that he is the only person that put that movie. Good movie. Tyler Bohannon, The Program. Gator Up, Waterboy, hands down. Jonathan Stanley, Remember the Titans. Underrated football movie, Radio.
Radio's a good one.
Frank H. Ford said Brian's Song. Very good movie. True story. Watch that sometime. Bill Gator said Brian's Song, The Replacements, The Program. Look, you can't name all the movies, Bill. Cowtown Gator said, Gotta Be Rudy. Nobody almost said Rudy, which is really funny. Jamie Taylor, Any Given Sunday. Rob Van Scoy, The Water Boy. TK Livingston, Brian's Song. Steve said, I knew Remember the Titans would get plenty of love, so I'm going to go against the grain and give the Little Giants some love. Patrick Mack said Little Giants. My God, you guys really came through this week. I'm going to tell you right now. And that's all I got from the Twitter page, man. A lot of answers. Like I said, a lot of variety. You guys just shows how much y'all love football that so many different movies can mean something to y'all. Wes, what you got on Facebook?
All right. Charlie Sapp said Brian's Song. I never watched that, never heard of that. So that might be somebody.
It is a true story about Gale Sayers, about Brian Piccolo and Gale Sayers.
Jay Stubbs said Varsity Blues, Remember the Titans in The Program. I mean, it's everything. Joy Stevens said one of my personal favorites is Everybody's All-American with Dennis Quaid. Great story of how football affects your life as you age. I think Dennis Quaid was also in Any Given Sunday. Jared White says Red Rudy for me. King Owen said The Program, Remember the Titans, and Any Given Sunday. Kyle McCullen said The Program. Bodal said I hope it's Swamp Kings. Ryan Gurn said Friday Night Lights, the movie and series. Travis McLaughlin said Varsity Blues. Jacob Hershey said
That's my
Grid,
son.
yeah, Gridiron Gang. I thought I was like, did that hurt?
I love the Gridiron Gang. That's a great
Gridiron
movie.
Gang. Justin Wood said North Dallas 40.
North Dallas 40 is good.
Ricky Richardson said Facing the Giants.
That's a very good movie.
Then I reposted it again today, so I had more because I couldn't add everybody yesterday. 1-2 Anki said Varsity Blues. 10 Fonville said how many. He asked a question: how many recruits can we sign this year? Understanding we can't have transfer. And Ryan Parker said I've never seen that movie, but
Coming soon to you.
But we answered the question too. Charles Cagle said Brian Song. Michael Plant said Remember the Titans. Robert Henry said Varsity Blues. Lowell Bryan said We Are Marshall. That was the first one of that one. Jeff Bear said Rudy. He also said All the Right Moves. That's the first one of that one. Jacob, your son said Gridiron Gang. He said that one. The other one, Ken Coulter said Any Given Sunday in the program. Bobby Rain said Friday Night Lights. Gary Taft said the program. And the last one is another question. Joel Cox says if Jeremiah Smith was the decommit, do you ever think he would rather play with DJ or the Georgia quarterback? Which quarterback does he have a better relationship with? And I'm going to say he has a better relationship with DJ Lagway, and he's come to Florida. Georgia doesn't pass enough. The kid wants to be productive in college, knowing that he already has a top 5 talent coming out of high school. He's the number 2 player in the country overall.
You need to move on.
All that stuff. He's legit. He just want to go somewhere where he can produce, look good in college, and get his top 5 worthy draft pick. So DJ Lagway in Florida.
There was a lot of movies left out of these. I mean, just a lot of good football movies.
What's the movie with
Did anybody say the Longest Yard?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That's what I was thinking.
Say.
I didn't hear anybody say The Longest Yard. I didn't hear anybody say Draft Day. That's kind of funny to me.
Draft Day.
Even though I guess that's not really it's a football movie, but it's not, there's no football in the movie.
There was a football show that I watched. What is it called? With
Friday Night Lights?
No, the other one. It was a comedy.
Blue Mountain State?
Yes. Blue Mountain State's good.
With Brittany Daniels and Tia Mowry.
Okay.
I'm not.
The game.
Okay.
Y'all know who Brittany Daniels is?
Playbook with The Rock Johnson.
I know who Brittany Daniels is.
Yeah, The Game, man.
Nobody said Invincible either. Invincible with
Invincible.
Mark Wahlberg is a good football. There's a lot of nobody said Lucas. Come on, man. Lucas from the 80s, man. Corey Haim, Charlie Sheen. Where y'all at? CJ, what's your favorite?
The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler.
That's a good movie, dude. Especially if you're a wrestling fan too.
Yeah, that's one of my main reasons I love it so much, is because there's got so many big name guys like Goldberg's in this movie and
Kevin
Stone Cold
Nash.
Steve Austin's in this movie. The Boz is in this freaking movie.
Bill Romanowski is
you just got guys.
Michael Irvin.
Like it's ridiculous. Terry Crews. Like it's just absolutely star-studded.
All guys that look like they should be playing football at that time.
Some of them played.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Michael Irvin played. I mean, we know that, but I'm just saying, like, even the wrestlers given their physique, like this Kevin Nash. Now he'd be a hell of a tight end, I guess, at 6'10".
But no, that's a movie that anytime it's on, I have to watch it. I just love that movie. It's hilarious. It's a good time. There's some good football stuff in the movie. So that nobody said that, but The Longest Yard is my favorite.
Wes?
Well, there were a few. I kind of you have comedies and then you have serious movies. I'm gonna go serious. Like Sandlot was my favorite baseball movie of all time. So I compare Little Giants to Sandlot for me. I grew up during that time, so seeing and being a running back / receiver playing when I was young in Pee Wee football, and remembering the kid with the toilet paper. It's just it's a football. It's just toilet paper. That scene resonated with me, and they beat the Cowboys, Little Giants. So, and then when older, I I like everything that you guys named. Varsity Blues was good. Like, it's not that I don't like all these movies. These movies were like good. Remember the Titans, Varsity Blues, Friday Night Lights, Program. I loved it, but I loved
God, nobody said Jerry Maguire either.
No,
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given
Because
Sunday is very good.
yeah, Jamie Foxx and Al Pacino. And I remember what Jamie Foxx said when he went through that scene when they were arguing. He was like, "I'm not some cornerback. I busted my shoulder up being a quarterback, and I'm being a cornerback, and I'm a quarterback." And Al Pacino, they went through the line, and Jamie Foxx said after that, he told him, he's like, "And you're a goddamn good actor too." And Al Pacino is one of my favorite actors of all time. Jamie Foxx is up there, maybe in the top 30. But you know, when he said that about Al Pacino telling him that, then he went on to win the Oscar. To me, Al Pacino is just the GOAT to me, is one of the Mount Rushmores of actors. So, and give it some that just because of him, even though I love Denzel too. So, but Al Pacino is a GOAT.
Another one, if you haven't ever seen it, that's really good, is The Express. Very good football movie.
It's Jim Brown?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Very, very good football. Mine is Varsity Blues. It'll always be Varsity Blues. I graduated high school way back in
your life.
Yeah, that. I graduated high school way back in 1995, and that movie came out in 99. And right when, you know, the music fit me, you know, brings back memories. Playing football, I had just stopped playing football right around that time. So once again, memories. I live in a town very similar where football is life, and everybody, you know, that's all. The town shuts down at 4:00 on a Friday because the football game is that night, and everybody goes. That movie to me is just absolute perfection, comedy, seriousness, captures how a lot of high school football really is. I mean, you know, Friday Night Lights does the same thing. Don't get me wrong. And I love Friday Night Lights. I think it's a fantastic movie. I choke up every time Booby tears his damn knee up. Every single time it gets me because I tore my ACL. And it's like, oh, my God, I remember that. Maybe that's why it's not my favorite. You know,
paint the fence, walk the dog.
You know, I just want to watch Tweeter do his new end zone dance, you know, against Beanville. But, yeah, man. So many good movies. Like I said, that's the great thing about this question and all the answers is so many people had so many different answers as to their favorite movie, which just tells you a little bit about you and the, you know, what you like and what the movie means to you. And that's awesome.
Some of these movies I need to try. Some of these that you didn't hear that are really, really, like, the list was great. Like, it was some movies that I'd never heard of, but the list that everybody provided was, I agree with you. Like, they're in my top 10. That's why I was like, when Hirsch was like baseball over football.
Baseball is my first love, so I'm more partial to baseball movies. But hey, we'll do that another day.
I told you Sandlot.
We'll wait down the line, and CJ will ask what's the greatest all-time sports movie, Sandlot. And then we'll have a whole different debate. Or maybe when the baseball season's over, we'll ask what's your favorite baseball movie, something like that. Some
girl signed the baseball named Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Somebody named Baby Ruth. Somebody named Baby Ruth.
Oh, everybody slapped their face, the dude slapped his face like, what?
That one, I mean, you know, a lot of us, you know, me and Wes's generation grew up with that movie, and and now, you know, my kids watch it and they're like, this movie's kind of cheesy, man. I'm like, y'all are spoiled, y'all are retarded.
Yeah, watch Angels in the Outfield and tell me about cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah, go play in those rocks that kid. Oh, Angels in the Outfield, yeah, no doubt.
I forgot about that one. That was a good call.
Oh, Lord, let's stop. All right, guys, once again, man, we appreciate all just all the answers, man, all the interactions. This is why we love this show, is you guys sending in your reactions. We banter about it, get some laughs off, get some memories off. It's just a great way to unwind and just share these things with everybody. And, you know, hey, that's what makes Gator Nation great, is that we come together and we share this kind of stuff. We laugh and we have our opinions. And we thank you so much. We do this show for you. It's the whole reason we do this show, is to interact with you guys, the fans that are just like us, and, you know, and share stories, man. And we We appreciate y'all listening in and watching this show. You know, I know you might have better things to do with your time on a Saturday morning, Sunday morning. But if you're spending it with us, you're at this point in the show, we thank you. Thank you so much for being part of this family that we've built. So, guys, we're going to catch you next week, man. Friday Night Lights will have happened. Like we said, don't expect a whole lot of noise out of Friday Night Lights. There could be a commitment, you know, after Friday Night Lights. Teddy Foster commits that Monday after he takes his visit to Miami. So we might have a commitment next week. But other than that, man, you don't get many better weeks in Gator, you know, sports than we've had this week. So enjoy it. Stay on that high. Don't let little things take you down, man. Keep that positivity going. And go Gators, guys.
Go Gators, baby. Work them silly.
Go Gators. Link in the bottom for our sponsors.
Link, alma mater.
Check them
Like,
out. Get some merch.
Subscribe, comment.